They park in a designated area so that they can make a run back to the suburbs right from the city when y'all start to burn down the AutoZone and the Wendy's. And then they get out there and they do their thing. They're prepared. They got bail. Already talked to their father. Dad, if anything happens to me, I'll be at the 7th precinct. Okay? Know your rights. And they do things differently than black people when it comes to their protesting. And here's the kicker. This is why y'all so ignorant, and this is why you dumb. This is the kicker, and this is why you dumb. They also signed up to get paid for their protests. You just out there. You just out there looking stupid, dehydrated. Sugar is off. They're getting paid. They signed up and they're getting paid for their protests. They're not stupid. You didn't even know that you can get paid to protest. That's the only reason they're out there. They're getting paid for their protest. Yep, you out there marching for your rights, and they actually getting a check so that you can burn up your neighborhood. And that's the difference between white people and black people. And they did a comparison and contrasting. Should I sign up with this pack, or should I sign up with the George Soros pack? Which one pays better? And that's why they're so passionate out there. That's why they're so passionate, is because they went out there, they got paid. That's why their signs are so professional. Hey, who made your sign? Who made your sign? They out there marching. They're vigilant. And your ignorant butt is out there being liberal because you want to be a part of the crew. Most black people, let me tell you something about black people. Conservative black people get a bad rap because they think that we've become conservative because for some reason that we're trying to be a part of the in crowd. And I will admit there are some that are unable to be able to look at it issue by issue, and they're just going to go hook, line, and sinker with whatever the Republican Party is, because that's just the way that it is, right? But most black people that are conservative are thinkers. Most people that are conservative, they think their way through the issues, and that's why it's much easier for us to be able to stand on policy versus standing on some ideology, some woke talking point, right? Here's the thing about black people and white people when it comes to being liberal. Black people that become liberal often at times, or black people that are liberal, because usually they if they can they'll get out of it. Usually what happens is they want to be down. That's why you see so many gay black people. It's a trend. Have you ever wondered why they all look the same? Septum ring, hair pink, big back. Why majority of the men that then get out there and protest, that they're either older, a little bit more sassier than usual. It's a playbook. So black people, a lot of times that infiltrate white liberal spaces, they are looking for companionship. They are looking for camaraderie. They are looking for, often at times, those are the outcasts in our community because they're not hood enough, they're not thug enough. And so if they get involved, engaged black people in a liberal space are often at times chasing behind liberal white people because that's where they feel like they'll get some level of community. They're looking to belong. They're looking to belong. They're the weird. That's why they're so weird. That's why they're so weird. You don't talk to a black person. I did the test multiple different times. You don't talk to, if you ask a black person, hey, listen, do you believe in this? Do you believe in men and women's sports? Men and women's sports is a white thing. Y'all not listening to me. Y'all are not listening to me. Men and women's sports. You look, you haven't seen black men participating in women's sports. It's usually swimming, volleyball, Olympic skating, all of this stuff. Listen to what I'm saying, y'all, because I want y'all to really understand what's going on. This is what you see: swimming, Olympic skating. Black men are not infiltrating women's sports. It's a white thing. So then when you talk to black people that are liberal and you ask them questions and you say, hey, listen, do you support men in women's sports? No. Do you support men using women's bathrooms? No. So what the fuck you liberal for then? Then they got to go to the playbook. Because I don't like Trump fascism. Bitch, you a conservative. What is you doing? I don't like Trump fascism. So what happens is black people attach themselves to issues that are created by liberal white women. Then poof, the magic dragon. Feminism. Oh, poof, the magic dragon. LGBTQ community rights. This is how, because black people worship white people. Oh, you didn't think I was going to say the uncomfortable truth? Because black people pedestalize white people. And it's not even white men. That's why they always comparing themselves. If we were to compare ourselves to try to figure out how we want to get together and become more successful as a community, especially when you know that you don't have the numbers, then you would compare yourself against the ones that are actually winning. If you go to the census data and you say, well, who are the households and who as a group and as a community are actually being the most successful? Well, you can go and point to Indians, or you can go and point to the Asian community. And, you can say, well, people from Mongolia here, right, that are even smaller as a group are having higher success rates when it comes to their socioeconomic status and their household income. Well, why aren't we comparing ourselves to that? No, we're going to compare ourselves to the guy that makes $48,000 a year and you make $40,000 a year. And then you're going to say, man, but I guess something. That bitch he's poor too. He poor as hell. He poor. But we've been programmed to think that good white big back woman, that somehow, some way, she just freakier than all of the other black chicks that you'd have never been with. So when I go outside and I go to different cities, and I was in Miami, and then I came from Vegas, and I was in Los Angeles, and then I was down in Miami again in Florida, and I went over to New York, and I went to Washington, D.C. And I always am with girls, and I say, listen, am I off on this? Look at that. And it's a black guy with no mustache. Hey guys. And he's cool, and I don't have any problem with him because he's a law-abiding citizen. But he keep him a big back, a white big back liberal woman, and they are walking up through the airport, and she should have bought 2 seats instead of 1. But he loved her big back draws, love her draws, love that stretched draw that she has on.